Hey guys, it's Simply Pansexual Films here, and today I want to talk about, more of an important issue than what I usually talk about in my videos. I want to talk about anxiety, depression, self-harm, and eating disorders because I've had to go through those and they're not fun, and I kind of just want to explain my story and how I overcame some of them and how I like to help other people that go through the same things. So the first one out of those four that I want to talk about is anxiety, because I've been having a lot of anxiety attacks lately for no apparent reason. Most of the time when I have an anxiety attack, they don't happen for a reason. They just happen because I'm overthinking or because I'm stressed out, and it just happens randomly. Basically, when I have a panic attack, it feels like the walls are caving in and my heart starts pounding out of my chest, and I feel an overwhelming emotion of sadness and worry, and I'm thinking what's gonna happen? What if something happens? What if everybody's judging me and stuff? That's why sometimes in most of my videos you'll see me looking around or kind of having a stutter in my voice, because even though there's no one around right now to watch me record this, just me knowing that there will be people around watching me in the future gets me really nervous. And with me, it's really hard to be in a relationship because of my anxiety, because I always feel the need to apologize. I always think I'm doing something wrong, that they're always mad at me if they're not talking to me, or if something's wrong with me, and I'm always afraid that something bad's gonna happen. And it's just it's paranoia, and it eats me alive. So for the people that also have this problem, what I like to do whenever I'm having a panic attack or an anxiety attack to make me calm down is I look around the room at things around me and I name the color of things around me. Like, for instance, white or black or something like that. And then it just kind of calms me down. Or just start counting and I breathe, and yeah. And I always feel the need to want to be this perfect somebody that follow the system so that everybody could love me, so that I don't get anxious and that people won't judge me and people won't hate me. I also have this thing, a part of my anxiety, it's social anxiety disorder or something. I don't really like to eat in front of people. I don't, it's really hard because I always feel like people will be judging me for every little thing I do, and it gets me really worried. I'm not sure how long I've had this problem, but my dad, I think I get it from my dad because he has post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, and I think that's where I get it from. I don't know, it could just be because I'm a teenager and everything is so stressful, but either way, it sucks, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're alone. Another thing I want to talk about is depression, and it's really hard when you have anxiety on top of depression because it's just these nagging voices in your head, anxiety, if you don't get up, something bad's gonna happen, and the depression is you have to stay here or else people will hate you, and it's not fun at all. Basically, with depression, it's me wanting to be alone, yet being afraid to not have anyone around for me to talk to. I'm not wanting to do anything. I distance myself from everybody because I hate myself. I cover up everything because I'm hating every single inch of my skin. With depression, it's I always think everyone's against me. I isolate myself, and I usually don't tell people when something's wrong because I feel like they don't understand or they won't care, or they'll just tell me to get over it. I think my depression basically started when my self-harm started, which I'll talk about later, but it's kind of gotten progressively worse, and it's like a roller coaster where it's I'm doing fine, and then all of a sudden I feel so low that I feel the need to hurt myself, or I feel the need that everybody is against me, and I'm just so insecure. So basically, I started self-harm. When I say self-harm, I mean cutting. I first started with cutting, and then I went to burning. I started cutting myself when I was in 4th grade, 10 years old. I'm 14 now, so that's been 4 years. At first I started doing it because I knew a lot of people that were doing it, and I didn't really think it was bad at first. I didn't think anything of it until I started getting in trouble and people started like questioning me. Then I started kind of doing it for attention because back then I was living in a really rough state. I was living with my dad and my stepmom, and my stepmom used to treat me basically like crap. And since my dad was in love with her, he followed her every lead. And I love my dad, obviously. Like, he's amazing now that they broke up, but I wasn't really getting enough attention from them, and I thought that they didn't love me, and I thought that if I started cutting myself, they would start paying more attention to me. So basically, I started cutting for attention, and I started getting cutting for attention at school too, because I wanted everyone to feel sorry for me. I think around the end of 5th grade was when it started to become an actual addiction. At first, I started cutting myself with like thumbtacks, and I would like take my wrist and I would like needle and thread with a thumbtack, except, you know what I mean. And then in 6th grade I started doing it with a pencil sharpener blade, and that's what I still kind of use. And although I am still trying to recover from self-harm, it is still hard and it is still an addiction, and I am trying to recover from it. But basically when I cut myself, it would release like stress and endorphins I had. Like if I was having an anxiety attack, if I was having an anxiety attack, it would make me feel better and I would just immediately calm down. Sort of felt like a drug that I couldn't really come down from, and now we're getting into the eating disorder part. I started eating disorder when I was in 6th grade. I was 12 years old. First, like I mentioned, the social anxiety disorder. I didn't like to eat in front of people because it made me feel nervous. I thought people were thinking that I was fat, that they didn't like the way that I ate or something. It was really pretty weird. And then it got me so worried that I stopped eating altogether. It was so bad that say if my parents put a plate of brownies in the kitchen but no one was home, I still wouldn't eat it because then they would know that I took a brownie, and that scared me. So I was anorexic for about half of 6th grade year, and then I got a little better after I moved to the school that I go to now. But 7th grade was a year that I started bulimia. If you don't know what that is, it's when you basically eat a lot of food and you puke it up in the end, and it's supposed to make you lose weight, but it really doesn't. I was doing that because in 7th grade I was getting severely bullied by somebody, which I'll probably make a story time about, and I was feeling so insecure and so low about myself that I was doing anything to try to make me look perfect. And so I started an eating disorder up again, and it only lasted for a couple months, and I stopped it, and then it was over. So now I have learned to love my body, and I'm learning to love my face, but I'm still learning to love myself. But now I don't puke up my food, I don't starve myself, I'm healthy. I don't know how much I weigh, but I'm healthy, and I eat, food is amazing, and I've learned to love myself, and I want to spread that kind of thing for everybody. There's lots of girls out there who feel like they need to change themselves and follow the system and be perfect, but the reality is nobody's perfect. You can't be perfect. You just have to learn to love who you are. And if people don't see that you're amazing just the way that you are, then they're not worth your time. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, and if you have any questions, you can comment down below, and I'll be sure to answer them. If you have any advice, I'll also give you advice. I love helping people. And thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for next video. I love you guys so much. Bye. But there's a hope this way.